Today we're going to talk about why you need to play low to high on your forehands and backhands and what it actually means. So I'm assuming most of you people have heard of this before. A lot of coaches mention it, hit low to high. But what does it actually mean? Let's talk about that first. So the key point here is we're trying to get our racket below the ball before we start swinging so we can swing upwards through the ball. So that obviously implies that we're trying to lift the ball slightly. And that's the case in every single scenario from the baseline, other than if we're trying to approach and we're hitting down on the ball when the ball is really high, like shoulder level or higher, and we're trying to attack those balls. However, that's something that most of you probably don't have to worry about because it's really difficult to do. So you have to have at least like a 4-5, 5-0 level in order to, efficiently use this shot. So in all other scenarios, we want to lift the ball. Sometimes more, sometimes less. How much you want to lift the ball depends on how hard you can hit or how hard you want to hit. The harder you want to hit, the less you have to lift it or else you're going to miss it deep. So we have to make sure to lift our balls all the time, but when we hit harder, we lift it less. Now let's take a look at why we need to do this. Most of the time, we want to hit topspin on our balls or a flat shot, right? But most people hit topspin. So if we're trying to hit topspin, we need to get our racket under the ball to make sure we can brush up on it. That concept should be familiar to most of you. So if we are now hitting a normal forehand from the baseline, we don't want to just brush up on the ball. We want to swing forward because we need a certain amount of power. So if we see it from the side, we're taking our racket back. Now we're dropping the racket here. And you can see here very clearly, I'm not dropping it by taking my arm down. I'm dropping it by lowering my wrist and by turning my forearm. That helps me to get my racket low. Now it's under the ball. From here, I can start rotating, swinging forward and through the ball while lifting my racket. Now, why does the racket lift? If I drop my racket with my wrist by turning my forearm like I just showed to you guys, then this is a lot of tension in here. This tension wants to resolve. So I want to get rid of this tension because it doesn't feel good. So if I start swinging, naturally this tension will eventually go back to normal because it's too much for the body to handle. When it gets back to normal, you can see how my forearm will rotate back this way and my wrist will straighten out. Those two motions together are that upward swing path that we're desiring. So if we drop our racket actively by dropping our wrist and turning our forearm, we will get under the ball. And from there, if we use our kinetic chain correctly by rotating our upper body and letting the arm follow, our racket will move up through the ball. The more horizontal rotation we use in our shoulders, the more it will move forward. But because we dropped our racket low, it will always move up. So we're going to hit from low to high.
Hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys soon.
Below the ball before we start swinging so we can swing upwards through the ball.